Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's vlog is going to be about PCOS, some of the symptoms that you will have, and just an overall view of things to expect with PCOS. So here is a few questions that I've put together to answer any questions that you might have, whether you think that you have it or you want to make sure that, you don't have it or something to that extent. So what is PCOS? PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is an endocrine disorder that is found in women, affecting approximately 10% of women worldwide. And 50% of those women, less than 50% of those women, I should say, are diagnosed. So it affects women of all races and age, pretty much, and it can start around puberty and it can go through postmenopause. So with that being said, there is a wide variety of symptoms that you can find and that you'll have. And for me, when I was diagnosed in 2016, and I still struggling with this, and it is a big struggle in your life, and you're going to face this struggle for quite some time. So if you are a woman struggling with PCOS, there is no cure. There is only treatments. It's manageable. So what are the causes of PCOS? We're not really sure what the cause is. There's really no true, identifier as what causes it. But it can cause hormonal imbalances, and it's going to affect a lot of different areas. It's going to affect glands. It's going to affect the pituitary or pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, adrenal, and pancreas. And not only that, it also can change your body temperature. So your body temperature is going to fluctuate, and you're also going to have insulin levels. It's going to control that as well. So it's going to control your insulin levels. Now for me, I noticed that I stay hot a lot. So not only that, I noticed that when I first was, before I was diagnosed with this, I, pretty much diagnosed myself. I have the excessive hair, I have acne, oily skin, dry skin. I lose my hair when I shower. Even when I'm not showering, my hair tends to fall out. So every woman's different. It's going to affect them differently. There's going to be a lot of different symptoms between each woman. So one woman might have balding of the hair, a thinning of the hair. Another woman might just lose clumps of hair. So let's see what else is in factor of this. So some of the symptoms that you will exhibit is basically genetic and environmental factors, and obesity, hormonal issues, and hormonal dysfunctions are the root for this condition. Like I stated before, there is no cure, but there is treatment plans out there for you, whether it be dieting, exercise, or supplements. It can also affect your fertility, but rest assured, I have family members as well as myself who have PCOS, and I have known for them to, they have had like maybe 2 or 3 children perfectly fine, healthy, normal. So it's not as bad as it may seem, because even though you might have fertility problems, you can still have children. There's ways out there, so don't get too discouraged. So supplements that you can take, they're not necessary for every woman out there. Some women might need them, some might. But it says that there are some supplements out there that you can take. I have researched myself and I found some on Amazon. And some of these supplements that I have found, there is one called inositol, and then there is another one called ovasitol. You can check those out, but I would get a hold of your doctor first to make sure that they're okay to take for you, because you don't want to go ahead and take something that you're not sure if it's going to work, let alone if it's going to affect you negatively. So dieting, I was told by my doctor that I had to go to a nutritionist, and I went to a nutritionist, and for the longest time I was losing weight, and then a lot of stressful things happened in my life at the time, like the passing of my uncle, and I just started to go back to my old eating habits and things to that extent. So it's a really hard process, because it affects you mentally and physically. So they say that if you have a gluten-free diet, you stay away from processed soy-free foods, low dairy or dairy-free whole foods. Those are kind of the keys that you need. So when I was on this diet, I would drink V8. I would eat ground chicken and ground turkey, salads, spinach. I would stay away from sugar and things like that, breads, and I would walk at least 10,000 steps a day. Just because I did that doesn't mean it's going to be effective for every woman. Everyone's body is completely different, so some things that I did might not be as effective for you. So when you go with a gluten-free and a reduced dairy diet, it reduces your chances of having inflammation, and with you having inflammation, you're going to have bloating, acne, and weight gain, and much more. So when you start to eat healthier, it reduces those symptoms. I have noticed that I get bloated, and I've gained some weight. So I noticed that a lot of the things that I have been doing, that I did in the past, I need to stop doing and start going back to some of the dieting that I did so that I can start to lose weight again. Because when you gain weight, naturally I feel tired all the time, I have trouble sleeping, and I feel sick a lot. And that's because I'm not eating properly and I'm eating a lot of stuff. So some of those symptoms that you're going to feel are going to be bloating, acne, fatigue, a lot of fatigue. You're going to have trouble sleeping. You're going to have oily skin. You're going to have dry skin. You're going to have excessive hair loss. You're going to have balding. You're going to have weight gain. You're going to have a lot of those symptoms. And for me, another thing is with PCOS, basically what it is there's these follicles. They're called immature follicles, as my doctor called them. And they are these little cysts. They kind of look like a little bubble or something to that extent. I guess kind of like Orbeez, but they're obviously not colored. But they are on your ovaries, and my left ovary is a lot bigger than the right ovary. And I had an ultrasound done, and she had told me that it was about 2 or 3 more centimeters bigger than what it was supposed to be. So with that, procedure, that ultrasound that I had done, it was really life-changing because I knew that I had PCOS, but I didn't think that it was as serious as it was. I thought maybe it was a minor case. I didn't think that it was as bad as it was, because I also had missed periods. You will also experience that. I would go up to 3 or 4 months, maybe even 5 months without having a period. So if you suspect that something is wrong, or you are going through any of the symptoms, or you have not had a period, please contact your doctor and have them take a look. If you don't have a doctor, there is a list online, I'm sure you can find in your area, of OBGYNs. Go ahead and have someone schedule an appointment and get you there, because this is a very serious thing. Cysts are not something to mess with. I had a cousin who had cysts and it ruptured, so that is not good. You don't want to have that happen. But basically, we're going to go back to the major symptoms because I'm sure there's plenty that I missed. So like I said, with the symptoms that you are going to have are oily skin, you're going to have excessive hair growth, you're going to have dry skin, so it's kind of like combination skin, missed periods, late periods, irregular periods, those kind of things. You're going to have weight gain, you're going to be bloated, you're going to have, a lot of issues with your hair. It's either going to be balding or it's going to be falling out. There is just a whole list of things that's going to affect you And then you're also going to have depression and anxiety. I have depression, anxiety, and OCD, so it affects me a little bit more than it would somebody else. But I also have insulin resistance as well, so I have high blood sugar. So when it comes to not eating a lot, I will tend to naturally get sick. So when you go to the doctor, basically what they're going to do is they're going to do a bunch of lab tests on you. And my doctor, I don't know if your doctor will do this, but most likely you will have an ultrasound done. So I had to drink about a full glass of water, and it wasn't a natural glass of water. I don't know if it was like 32 ounces or something like that. I could be wrong. And when I got there, they took me back to the room, and I was not allowed to go to the bathroom, and I had to go so bad. But basically it's to help your organs move around more and to see clearer. So I was laying there, they was giving me the ultrasound, and my doctors had told me that yes, definitely you do have PCOS. Your left side does look a lot worse than your right side. So my left side of my ovary has more follicles, and those follicles are what is causing me to have all of my symptoms. And basically I was put on birth control and metformin. Now, metformin is naturally used for those who have diabetes, but it can also be used to help manage and to help treat your PCOS. The birth control, my doctor just told me that it was to help with the cramping because I do have some pretty bad cramps, and I still have bad cramps. So unfortunately, I have to go back to the doctor to get that up to see if that'll help with the cramping. So when it comes to taking a pill, there is a few choices for that. There's a lot of people who don't want to take medication, and that's fine because some people believe doing natural things, and there is natural things. There's a lot of essential oils from this website that I just found that also has essential oils that can help as well. So women with PCOS, it says that you're very likely suggested to take a birth control pill to manage it. They are a first line defense, and basically PCOS causes you to not ovulate and stuff like that. So that's why these pills are taken to help you ovulate and to have a regular period. So a lot of women who take the pill have a risk of having blood clots and strokes and heart attacks and stuff. But naturally, from what I had read on my birth control packet, that was for older women, I guess, and it didn't affect me to any degree. So your doctor will also start you out on a low dosage to see how it affects you. So with weight loss, what I did was I had a Fitbit. I would walk a total of 10,000 steps a day. I started at about maybe 800 steps or so as a goal, and one day I was at about like almost 900, and I said, okay, I want to see if I can go a little bit further than that. So I ended up getting to 9,000 steps, and I just kept going. So ways that you can lose weight, if you want to do it naturally, make sure that you eat foods that are healthy for you. Don't eat foods that are sugary. Don't eat a lot of carbs unless you're able to or you're allowed to. Some people can, and it doesn't affect them like other people. But what I did was, for breakfast, I would have egg whites, and I would have one yolk because the yolk is where you get your cholesterol. And then for lunch, which my lunch, I would have a V8, just one can of V8. I would get the fatter cans because it seemed like it would be more for me portion-wise, and it's a good way to get your vegetables and your fruit because they do have some that have fruit. So if you prefer that, that's totally fine. And then I would have a snack, and then for my snack, I would have like maybe some, like a sandwich or like some tortilla chips or something like that. And then I would have dinner. So dinner would be like a salad and ground chicken, something to that extent. And then my last snack, I would have like peanut butter and crackers or something like that. So I would have about 5 meals a day. and I would walk a total of 10,000 steps a day. Now, just because I did that doesn't mean that it's going to help you out, because everyone's bodies is different. So what I did might work for some and it might not work for others. So you just have to see what's going to work for you. So for thinning of the hair, it's devastating, of course, and it adds a lot of anxiety and depression on the top of you already having anxiety and depression, which makes it worse. So it says that your hormones will balance. So you have to find things that are going to help that, like supplements. There's supplements that can help with PCOS, so it'll help suppress those hormones, and it'll help with you having your hair loss. It'll prevent you from losing your hair. What else? So my doctor performed a bunch of thyroid tests to make sure I didn't have any thyroid issues, and they came back perfectly fine, but my doctor did not continuously check them regularly, so I could still have those problems. And thyroid problems are also the cause of depression and things like that. So basically, PCOS and like hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism, they can kind of clash together and affect you even worse. Like, you're gonna have, like I said, all of that hair loss and thinning of the hair and things like that. So you have to make sure that your doctor does regular testing, because there was a study that was shown that in order to really verify if you have that hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism is to regularly check those levels. So if your doctor doesn't do that, it can go misdiagnosed. But there is people who have insulin resistance also have high blood sugar. They have high levels of triglycerides and low HDL levels. Not only that, you will have a lot of hair and skin problems. Like myself, I have dry skin and I also have oily skin. Oily skin tends to come around here in the cheeks and in the nose area, and then it normally comes around in here, more so in this area. And then I have the dry skin up here and a lot of flaking. So another thing, vitamins can help too. My doctor had recommended me to take vitamins, and that helped until I quit taking them because I had felt sick. So basically, with polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's definitely overwhelming, but you can find support groups and family to help you get through this. And there's also weight loss. There is diet plans online for PCOS that can help you. And if you suspect that you have PCOS, I would definitely contact a doctor or your own doctor. If you don't have one, I would look for one and have yourself tested. So I hope that you guys like this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Bye.